A sickly child becomes a strong adventurer and a leader. As president, he fights corruption, builds national parks, and pushes America into an era of progress and conservation. Born into a life of privilege in New York City in 1858, Theodore Roosevelt entered the world as a frail and asthmatic boy. His early years were a constant battle against debilitating illnesses, a stark contrast to the robust figure he would later become. Often confined indoors, he developed a voracious appetite for reading, immersing himself in tales of adventure, natural history, and the heroic deeds. His father, a man Roosevelt deeply admired, once told him, "You have the mind, but you have not the body. You must make your body." This challenge became the defining creed of his youth. Determined to overcome his physical limitations, he embarked on a strenuous regimen of exercise, taking up boxing, weightlifting, and gymnastics. This was not merely about building muscle. It was about forging an indomitable will, a belief that any obstacle, physical or otherwise, could be surmounted through sheer effort and determination. The once fragile boy slowly but surely chiseled himself into a formidable young man, his body finally catching up to the strength of his mind and spirit. This transformation from weakness to strength fueled a lifelong passion for the strenuous life. Roosevelt sought out challenges that would test his newfound physical and mental fortitude. After graduating from Harvard, he headed west to the rugged Dakota Badlands, drawn by the promise of the untamed frontier. Sir, he fully embraced the life of a cowboy and rancher, learning to ride, rope, and hunt. The vast, open landscapes and the harsh realities of life on the prairie shaped him profoundly. He worked alongside seasoned cattlemen, earning their respect not through his family name, but through his tireless work ethic and grit. He faced down outlaws, endured brutal winters, and developed a deep, almost spiritual connection to the American wilderness. This period was not just an escape. It was a crucible that forged his character, instilling in him a profound appreciation for the raw beauty of nature and the rugged individualism he saw as the bedrock of the American spirit. The West taught him resilience, self-reliance, and a practical understanding of talent that would later inform his most significant policies. Returning to the East, Roosevelt threw himself into the world of politics with the same energy he had applied to his physical transformation. He saw public service as a battlefield where he could fight for the common good against the entrenched forces of graft and inefficiency. Beginning his career as a New York State Assemblyman, he quickly gained a reputation as a fiery reformer, unafraid to challenge the corrupt political machines that dominated the era. His relentless crusades against corporate malfeasance and political cronyism earned him both powerful enemies and a loyal public following. He served as the police commissioner of New York City, where he famously roamed the streets at night to ensure his officers were on duty, and later as Assistant Secretary of the Navy, where he tirelessly advocated for modernizing the fleet, a move that proved crucial in the Spanish-American War. During that war, he resigned his post to form the Rough Riders, a volunteer cavalry regiment that became legendary for its charge up San Juan Hill in Cuba. Roosevelt, leading from the front, became a national hero, his image as a courageous and dynamic leader firmly cemented in the public consciousness. His meteoric rise continued, and after serving as governor of New York, he was elected vice president in 1900. However, fate had a dramatic turn in store. In September tahun 1901, President William McKinley was assassinated, and at the age of 42, Theodore Roosevelt became the youngest president in American history. He entered the White House like a whirlwind, promising a square deal for all Americans. His presidency was a direct assault on the status quo. He took on the massive corporate trusts that held monopolistic power over the economy, earning the title Trust Booster for using the Sherman Antitrust Act to break up powerful conglomerates like the Northern Securities Company. He believed that the government had the right and the duty to regulate big business to protect the public interest and ensure fair competition. Beyond his economic reforms, he was a champion for the common man, intervening in the 1902 coal strike to broker a deal that favored the workers and pushing for legislation like the Pure Food and Drug Act and the Meat Inspection Act, which established federal standards for public health and safety, transforming the relationship between government and the industry. Perhaps his most enduring legacy, however, lies in his unparalleled commitment to conservation. Drawing from his experiences in the West, Roosevelt saw the rapid depletion of America's natural resources as a national crisis. He believed that the wilderness was not something to be endlessly exploited, but a precious heritage to be preserved for future generations. We have fallen heirs to the most glorious heritage our people ever received, he declared, and each one of us is bound to show himself worthy of his trust. Acting on this conviction, he used his executive authority to create an unprecedented system of federal protection for the nation's lands and the wildlife. During his presidency, he established 5 national parks, 18 national monuments, 51 federal bird reserves, and 150 national forests. He set aside approximately 230 million acres of public land, an area larger than the state of Texas. He professionalized the management of these resources by creating the U.S. Forest Service and appointing the visionary Gifford Pinchot as its head. Roosevelt's actions laid the foundation for the modern conservation movement, ensuring that the wild, majestic landscapes that had so profoundly shaped his own character would remain a part of the American identity forever. He pushed America into a new era of progress and conservation.